Hello my friends and greetings from Sweden. I hope you're having a fantastic day. This is Splish and we're playing a free-to-play shooter called Ironsight. A game that I've played before. I have posted videos on my channel before. I've also been streaming it and I will probably do that again, especially now when it came to my mind, or someone made a video actually and I saw it, and the devs have been doing stuff with the game. There's been updates, there's been new content, and I just felt that, well, first off, this is gonna be fun for me, but hopefully it's gonna be something of interest for you as well, that you might want to check it out. I don't know if you played the game before, it doesn't really matter. This is a free-to-play shooter that was released by Whiteboard Games. I think that's what they're called, in 2019, and as mentioned, I did play it, and now I needed to get back and see what they've done. They have made improvements in the game from what I've heard when it comes to performance, which is always good. But there's also new content right now. There's quite a few maps and quite a few game modes to choose from. So if you are like tired of some of the like AAA shooters that you bought this fall, well, maybe that could be something to get away from and just get something fresh under your skin, and therefore I think you might want to try out Ironsight. This is one of the free-to-play shooters, once again, that I have covered before, and they are in a playlist when it comes to free-to-play shooters if you want to check that out. There's a lot of tips there for you guys. One thing that hasn't changed is the fact that the game has a lot of similarities to Call of Duty, so if you like that franchise or series, I do think this can be of interest to you. When I got into the menu again, I had the opportunity to try out some new weapons. There is a currency system. I'm not getting into that. I'm not so good to explain that either. If someone wants to do that, feel free to do so. But I know that the points I got made it possible for me also to unlock some of the weapons, especially since I do play very often as a sniper in shooter games. You know that by now probably if you've been following me. I was able to unlock the JTAC, the M200, which is the intervention. I also wanted to try out the Car 98, which I did, and I also played with the L96 actually, and I'm gonna continue to do that, of course. And also I tried a few other guns such as the MP5 and the P90. Yeah, we're not gonna nerd too much about the actual weapons, but I think you get the picture. There's quite to choose from, and I have to say it feels good. The gunplay feels good, and therefore once again I think it's a solid experience when it comes to especially being a free-to-play shooter. And it's also good to see that this kind of roadmap or development, maybe someone has another opinion, it's nice to see that they have been growing. And I'm thinking about the community. From what I can see now, checking the Steam charts, it has been continuously growing from, let's say, August 2020, from like 500 players up to 700, 800, then falling back a bit in late 2021, but still around like 540, 50 players, average players, and peak players around 1K. So I think that's pretty good. I have been recently doing a lot of videos when it comes to a series of mine on my channel, which is called How Are These Games Doing in 2020, 2021, 2022, apparently, since we have a new year now. Happy New Year, by the way. And I can just say that there are some games that I kind of get surprised to see that there are so few people playing. So now checking this out, it kind of makes me feel good, you know, that these guys still have quite a core audience and player base. If you are over like 200-300 for an indie game or a smaller like free-to-play shooter, I think you might be doing pretty well. And you might say, well, that's pretty low, but let's be honest here, there's a huge competition out there, so with those kind of numbers, well, I think that's kind of good. But in order to keep those numbers and also maybe grow them a bit further, the devs have to continue to do what they have been doing here, doing changes, improving the game, and also, which so many shooters I've been checking out recently, especially AAA games, have been failing, is to add more content on a frequent basis. And don't wait too long to do that. Try to do that as much as possible. Not spam maps like every week, but at least every quarter of the year. Because I'm thinking about, for example, Battlefield, which right now are doing the same mistake as they did regarding Battlefield 5. They waited too long to start Season 1, and it's gonna happen again from what I can see when it comes to Battlefield 2042. Getting the first season going in March, I think, this year. And by the way, Ironsight is now in season 7, I think, so they have been going on for quite some time. Another thing that I think is really good with these kind of free-to-play shooters is of course the fact that they are more like the old AAA games, if that makes sense. A bit more simplified, but also when you're gonna download the games, which can be a thing for a lot of people, you don't have to have these mega hard drives, you know. This game requires a storage of 8 GB available space, so that's not so much. You can actually play it using Windows 7. This is the minimum requirements: an Intel Core 2 Duo i7-5500. And the graphics card should be at least an NVIDIA GeForce 9600 GT and DirectX version 90C, and yeah, that's it, you know. So that is an advantage too. And free to play also sometimes mean troubles, and I think you probably know what I'm thinking of. Yes, cheaters. I have been listening in a bit, meaning trying to read about Ironsight a bit more when it comes to forums, what people say, their experiences, especially guys that have been playing the game continuously, you might say. And yeah, there's a problem with cheaters in this game as well. And I hope, well, that's also something to work on when it comes to improvements, even though there might be an anti-cheat system that can also fail. And therefore I hope they will take you know, action when it comes to this. I'm not sure if I encountered cheaters. I think it was at least in one of my games, because it was a bit sus when I checked like the guy that came first. I don't want to be the guy that says that, oh, he's cheating just because he was doing well. I hate when that happens. I want to be a bit careful here. But I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments what kind of experiences you have, if you have been playing Ironsight, if you are encountering cheaters, and what you think about the whole situation. This is a common thing, unfortunately, with so many games, and especially in free-to-play games. And once again, I hope you guys out there that are in charge here, meaning the devs, that you are working on this continuously to try to avoid the problems with having cheaters in games. I am so tired of that, and I can't understand why people are cheating. What's the fun in that? I'm not the man to answer that. But I do know that I had some fun playing Ironsight, and maybe you will have that as well. And I do know also that I still have some quite fast reactions. You can check that out here. Thanks for watching. Take care. Later. Ouch.